Hello, my name is Claudia. This is my research presentation for creating a website that will be a guide to visiting Victoria's parks. So jumping right in, these are 10 websites I found. They include websites from within Australia as well as some from Spain, Switzerland and China to get a sense of what other countries' websites look like too. This is a novelty aesthetic graph with the 10 websites plotted on it. Most of them have been plotted as being pretty typical, given their conforming use of a white background, an image and some type. The only website that stood out as being unique in comparison to the others is the Travel Victoria website, because the colour scheme was bold, using highly saturated green, orange and blue. The links on the website all had bulky shapes around them, which made for a pretty outdated feeling, which also contributed to its placement on the ugly side of the spectrum. I completed an audit of the competitor website, so here are the elements I checked for. And here are the results. I've arranged them based on how common the element was from most common on the left. So I found that a lot of websites featured a graphic above the fold, which usually took up a majority of the screen and was also usually an image of a location that will be mentioned later on in the article. A couple of other factors that were pretty common were a search feature, with 90% of websites having one, and featuring less than 100 words above the fold. So looking into target demographics of park visitors, I had a look at some research by Parks Victoria from 2020. It showed that most park visitors were full-time workers. For the website, this may mean including information regarding weekend visitation. The research showed that gender wasn't really a defining factor of visitors, with 46% of visitors female and 54% male. The data based on visitor age was also relatively evenly split amongst all ages. However, given that 32% of park visitors are over 50, it is important that they are kept in mind when creating a website. So a 2017 study by the Office of the eSafety Commissioner found that smartphones are the most used device among over 50s, regardless of their proficiency in technology. Therefore, it is pretty imperative that this website is easily accessible via a smartphone. So looking at creating a persona for a user for the website, Matt is 57 years old, he's male, has a master's degree in finance, he's employed full-time as a financial analyst, his income is $115,000 a year. A goal that he has is to decide on a national park to visit and feel confident in his choice, and a frustration that he might face is that when the public transport journey to his park of choice is unexpectedly more complicated and time-consuming than he would have thought, he gets a little bit frustrated. Given that the demographic data found regarding park visitors couldn't really highlight an overwhelmingly clear segment, I wanted to find something that linked park visitors together. A study in 2015 found that, simply put, park visitors just wanted to see some beautiful scenery. This further solidifies the direction of pulling in the user by featuring a large image above the fold of a scenic view. These are the first half of my interview questions. They aim to find how the target audience goes about visiting parks, including prompts regarding frustrations, how they choose a park, how they might get to the park, if their decision will be influenced by food options, location, or how much endurance is required. Some more questions dealt with what makes a park visually appealing for them and delved into why and how they enjoy visiting parks. It was found that catching public transport and bringing their own food was pretty popular. The participants felt calm, relaxed, and happy when at a park. They looked forward to seeing animals and bodies of water at a park that they choose. 2 participants looked forward to being physically challenged. The 3rd participant didn't really mind if they would have to hike or not. Some frustrations found were lack of a public bin, paid parking, and noise pollution from traffic outside of the park entering the park. The participants based their park choice on whether they had been before, how easy it is to get there, and if the park had some shaded seating. So user goal. The user wants to decide which park they want to visit. They do this by quickly accessing concisely formatted information that will help in achieving an enjoyable day out. The site goal is to be an easy-to-use platform which helps to inform the decision of which nature park to visit in Victoria. The design direction. The website should feature an image above the fold of an aesthetically pleasing view of a park that will be recommended by the website. Will be inspired by minimalism, include a search feature, not feature too much text above the fold, have a FAQ section, and make sure the website's accessible on a smartphone.